question all of us are faced with growing up. In our youth, it's almost like a ritual. Everyone asks us, what do you want to be when you grow up? Now, we usually answer with a simple job title. Say doctor, engineer, lawyer, influencer, the list goes on. And these job titles seem like a great thing to say, seem like a great thing to state, because they allow you to simplify your identity into a simple word, into that job title that will define you for the rest of your life. But you might say, hey, I don't want to be defined by one word. And as it turns out, defining yourself by one word leads to a lot of problems later in life with mismatched identity. So I'll explain that a bit later, but right now, I want you to remember, if you're going to remember one thing from this speech, remember, ask not what you want to be when you grow up, ask who do you want to become, and who are you becoming through the work you are doing today. And this might seem a bit contradictory. Today, work today, and connection with what you're going to be doing in 10, 20 years? Well, that doesn't seem that connected. Well, first we gotta look back at what we said, the area that what defines us when we say a job title. And this works as a sort of basis, a sort of benchmark for growth later on. And as it turns out, most don't get it right. That's just a simple fact of life. When we say a job title, the reality is that about 30% of people are going to struggle at work. 30% are going to thrive at work. The rest, well, they're going to struggle. They're going to suffer at work even. And we always want to be in that 33% or so that thrive at work. Now, this is a Gallup poll that shows the relation of that identity to your choices in life. And it reveals that about 60% of people, well, they say, hey, I'll just pick a job title and then I'll have to struggle. And that's not what any of us want. So, you might say, well, if I pick a job title, I'll have it easier in life with defining what skills I need for a job. With defining what I need to do, what I need to do right now to be good at a job in 10, 20 years. As it turns out, about 44% of workers' skills will change in the next 5 years. So picking a career now and saying, hey, this is my career that I will be doing in 10 years, and saying, I'll have this career, these skills match exactly. For about half of you, that won't be accurate. In 5 years, and in 10, even more. So the question is, why should we ask that question that we saw? Who are you becoming right now? And that's the question of researchers were faced with. So they said, let's define it. This idea of having what you're doing right now define you later in life. And they call it occupational identity. And it's really interesting because it comprises itself of 3 areas: skills, values, and behavior. And this is your identity at work, in a job, but also at school, right now. And it shapes how you view everything, how you identify with what you do, and leads you to the conclusion of whether you're thriving at work or not. So let's start with skills. These are the things you might most expect when thinking about the job you're going to be doing. They're the tangible things you can do. They're the things that you can physically do. Let's say using Excel, or giving a speech, knowing how to give a speech. These are things that are going to be skills, that are going to be competences that you need. And these are important. These are important for your growth, right here on this Venn diagram, you can see values. And values are very interesting because values, they don't change that much throughout your life. They're the moral compass of your life. Whether something you do is good or whether something you do is bad, they define what you say is right or wrong. So these two, they're very important, but they don't change as much. You can grow skills, you can develop them, but right now, these two won't change much for you. You go to university for skills, values, they usually are shaped by our parents. And the third part, that's behavior. And this is the part that actually can be shaped by you right now the most. Because every time you lead, you stay silent, you collaborate with others, maybe you procrastinate something, maybe you push through a hard exercise, or maybe you speak with others to solve a certain problem. You're building what we call patterns. And these patterns, they help you right now to thrive at what you're doing every day, but will also compound over time to help you in 10, 20 years. Because when you do things over and over again, they become the norm for you, and they become what happens every day for you. They are what shape you. And this leads us back to the Venn diagram of occupational identity. You can see the three areas. And you might ask, well, where do I shape those three areas the most at school? What are the areas I can most work on to build that occupational identity? And mostly that behavior part of it. Well, it's a simple thing that you do every day at work. That you're going to be doing every day at work, and that you are doing right now at school. These things, they're called group projects. You might like them, you may hate them, but they're the things that you're going to be doing all the time at work. You're going to be in meetings, you're going to be writing reports with others, you're going to be doing presentations, you're going to be doing so many different things that involve collaborating with others. And that's the area that allows you most to build that behavior part of your occupational identity. Right now, participating in a group project, you might say you fall into one of these three areas. You will most likely not be right in the center, because nobody is. Nobody is perfect in that way of being right in the middle of the occupational identity. And being between behavior and skills, having strong behavior and strong skills developed is alright. And it's the thing that will shape us, that will shape you, and that will allow you for no missing room to grow. You might have strong skills and very developed values. That's also alright. And what employers are looking for is not someone who's right in the middle and that can solve every single task kind of thing. They're looking for merging of these different areas that together they compound to have groups, to have workers that together get as close to the center of this Venn diagram. That's just the truth. That's it. They're looking for different people. They're looking for people that grow together to shape that occupational identity. That can combine together their skills to be better. Just that. Now, the question for you, because they're the things that allow you to notice what area of the Venn diagram you are on right now. Because you might not realize it, but these two simple questions, very simple. When do I feel most alive at school? And when do I feel the most drained? They're the areas that tell you what you are doing right, what you are doing well, what you are doing best, and whether you feel best. So ask yourself these two questions. Try to think about them. Every now and so on, ask them yourselves again. Because they'll tell you where you are and what you need to build to be later in life happier, to thrive more, to be greater with your identity, to be better with identifying your problems, the areas where you feel best. And to recap, this is the main idea I want to show you, that you don't start building your career when you get a job. Each and every one of you is doing it now, through the projects you do, through the tasks you have taken, through participating or watching a TEDx conference. You're building your identity and your career right now, through those simple actions you take that compound over time to be happiness. So, who are you becoming? Thank you.